There's only one way, yes, one way to be truly authentic. Most people will never have enough courage to live that way. Want to know how to become authentic? Stick around. I'm Adam Kiddoo, and it's time to master the art of real heart alignment, where you live, work, and play from your personal power as energy aligns, your gifts flow, and life simply works. These life-changing conversations are designed to help you to see what you're not seeing, hear what you're not hearing, and to be who you're not being, as the world needs more heart-centered leaders now more than ever. Are you ready to say no to living a half-hearted life and say yes instead to boldly living from a place of real heart alignment? Welcome to the Adam Kiddoo Podcast. What's going on, you guys? You made it. Thank you so very much for tuning in to the Adam Kiddoo Podcast. Well, we're going to do things a little bit differently in this show. I'm going to be bringing you new topics, new things that I have not covered before. Chances are you've never even heard some of the stuff that's going to come out of my mouth. I've been big into the entrepreneur world. And as you know, if you're an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship is the best form of personal development out there. Well, parenting's big up there as well. And I'm a new parent. I got an 18-month-old little boy at home. So in this podcast, we're going to hear a lot about what's going on in my world, the things that have helped me to go from a place of being $20,000 in debt, struggling, 40 pounds overweight. I felt like the weight of the world was crushing in on me. I felt insignificant. I was in a lot of fear. I was always working from scarcity, hoping people would understand what I'm doing, hoping people would connect with the message, hoping people would buy, hoping this whole thing works, which, as you know, is a disempowering place to work from. So in this podcast, what I'm going to help you to do is to help you to tap into your own heart, your greatest gift that you have, in order to start working from a place of real heart alignment. And when I say real heart alignment, those three words stand alone: real, heart, alignment. And they also come together. And so that is my goal, my mission, my intention that I'm working from, is to help you to get to a standpoint in your life where you're working in alignment as well. Because one thing that I've known over the years is if you are feeling inauthentic, if you are feeling out of alignment, if you are constantly getting in your own way and overthinking and second guessing yourself every step of the way, you're wrecking yourself. You're not only wrecking the potential that's in front of you, but you're also wrecking your health, your mental health, your physical health. It's like you're pushing a boulder up a hill. You're not even supposed to be up on top of that hill. And when you can let that boulder go, sideswipe and stand out of the way, let that boulder run its course, then all of a sudden you'll start heading down right behind that boulder as well. That boulder is leading the way, picking up momentum, and you're heading downhill with so much momentum, so much force that you run up the hill that you're supposed to be on. And it becomes so much more easy and light and fun and exciting. And if you're not experiencing that in your business and life right now, chances are you're out of alignment. Chances are you're being inauthentic with yourself. So that's what we're going to get into in this first episode. We're going to kick it off with a bang, likely with a conversation that you've never had before, likely with a conversation that you've never heard before. And that conversation is about the only way you can be authentic, the only way you can be truly authentic. And that, my friend, is through the route of showing how you've been inauthentic. That's the only way. And here's the deal. When I started my business, right, in 2014, I was in a big funk. I was actually depressed, right? I was not clinically diagnosed, but I can bet everything that I know, I was depressed. Every single morning, I'd wake up, I'd rub the crusties out of my eyes. I'd still be in my clothes that I slept in. I'd go in front of the computer. My body is slouching in front of the computer. I have like 500 tabs open. Okay, I still have a lot of tabs open at times, but it seemed overwhelming back then. And each and every day, I was like, how do I get myself out of this? How is this going to work? And also the question I was asking, and this is something we'll talk about later in future episodes as well, is my primary question that I asked myself every day is, why can't I break through? Talk about a disempowering question. Why can't I break through? There's no possibility in that. There's nowhere to go with that question. That's the level of thinking I was at. That's where I was working from. That was my context. That was my paradigm. And it's no wonder business was not working. It's no wonder that everything was hard. It's no wonder that I had so much fear surrounding me that the littlest of actions was the hardest thing in the world to do. Now, I shared a video at the end of 2014. I shared a video with my heart-centered selling mastery students where I did my first ever video in 2014. And I was, yet again, like I said, 40 pounds overweight. I was fearful. I was like so stressed. It seemed like my head was just going to pop off my shoulders. So much tension in my body. And in that moment, there was so much courage that I leaned into. And I even said on that video that and you guys can go to my Facebook profile and look at it. It's like, you see that and you see who I am now. It's just crazy. And I even said in that video, I was like, I've literally recorded this video like 20 times, but you know what? Enough with it. I'm done. I'm publishing this video. And I made this declaration and I told people, I was like, I'm coming out. I'm standing up. And guess what? I didn't do another video for almost a year, right? I jumped off the deep end saying, I'm going to do these big things. Then I didn't show up. I didn't follow through. That's the type of person I was being back then. But little by little, inch by inch, I just started becoming more daring and really working to keep myself out there and just help more people and focusing my intention on leading with my heart. And little by little, inch by inch, people started taking notice. But there was one standpoint in 2017 where I had this huge mask on. I wanted everybody that I came across to see me as an expert, right? Because it's like, be the expert. I wanted people to see me as the expert. I got it all figured out. I'm crushing it in my business and all this stuff. I was at an event, James Wedmore's Business by Design live event in 2018. And James said, hey, look, I would like those of you who have been to every single Business by Design live event to stand up. And I stood up. There was probably 5 or 6 of us. Everybody's clapping because I've been to like 3 or 4 live events. I think I've been to 7 or 8 Business by Design live events. Like I love those people. Those are my people. That energy's, they're phenomenal. I stood up and people throughout the event would come up to me and they're like, oh man, you must be crushing it. You're in James's next level group coaching program. There was only 20 of us at the time. Got to spend extra time with James, learn from the man himself. And people were asking me, you must be crushing it. I'm like, yeah, things are great. Things are great. But I was dying inside. I was in debt, but I felt like, my ego or whatever was going on at the time needed to make it look like I had it all figured out. And that's what so many people do. And I see people like I read energy. That's one of my gifts. I read energy and I know instantly. And I know you guys too know this subconsciously, but sometimes it just doesn't fully register. You know when somebody's putting on a show, when somebody's full of crap. You can sense that energy all over them. If they're telling you one thing and trying to look a certain way, but all the while their stuff is just all over the place in their real life, you can sense that. You're not going to sit here and say, oh, something's off here, but we are conscious beings. We are sensing beings. We got way more than our 5 senses. And so if you're coming from a place of trying to look like you got it all figured out, hey, I'm the expert. And if you're talking at people and trying to convince them and trying to hold up this, what is it called? A facade. But all the while you're crumbling inside and something feels off and your inner essence, your inner heart is kicking and screaming like, no, this isn't us. This isn't me. Then it's time to come clean about your inauthenticities. It's time to be authentic about being inauthentic. This is a huge conversation. And so what I did actually, it was probably, I was, 6 months in, just like living this mask, living this lie. I was unable to do what I love doing the most on this earth. And that is connecting with people. I was unable to connect with people because I had to hold my mask on. When all the while I wanted to get real with people. But man, if they knew that I'm, thousands of dollars in debt and, I'm struggling and I'm, in fear all the time and all this stuff, what are they going to think about me? And it was so exhausting. I mean, I literally had to take naps each and every day because my energy was so wrecked, trying to be somebody I wasn't, and just instead of being real. I mean, it caused me so much emotional damage, and my wife, and I were just fighting a lot because I was just dying inside. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to share this podcast, is to help you to be authentic, to be you. That's what the world needs. The world doesn't need another version of somebody else that you're aspiring to be. The world needs you. And so here's what I did. When I had enough of this, right? And I just started seeing like, this is my greatest limitation right now, is this facade that I've built up for myself. So what I did is I went inside this group, this next level coaching program group that I was in with James and other entrepreneurs. At this point, there was new students in there. So there were over 100 people in this group. And I told them, I straight up told them, I said, look, I've been being inauthentic. I've been wearing a mask. I've been holding so strong, wanting you guys to see that I got it all figured out, when all the while I'm suffering. I'm in big time debt, taking on more debt. I'm stressed out. And I can't come to you guys and ask for guidance because I got to hold this up. And in that moment, I felt the wall crumble. And I'm feeling a sigh of relief right now, and I'm getting chills, which is always a good sign. And in that moment, the mask dropped off, it disappeared. And you know what? So many people reached out, were connecting, and they're like, thank you for sharing this. Oh my gosh, I connect as well. I'm trying to make it look like I'm the expert in my business, and I'm, making all the mistakes, and I'm, beating myself up all the while for it. And what happened out of that is I started collaborating more closely with people. I started building real relationships, real connections, because I was real. I came from the heart. So you guys got a chance to do this as well, is to come clean wherever you need to come clean. So why stop there? I actually ended up telling my folks too. I was like, look, I fell in some debt. Right. And I always told myself, I was like, no, I'm not playing the credit card game like mom and dad ended up doing. Right. I told myself I was not doing that. And I did that. And I felt like I just needed to come clean to them. And I came clean to my father-in-law as well. It's like, look, I want to have a relationship with you. I've always been excited about, having a father-in-law, but I can't even answer a simple question of how's business. It's good, great, couldn't be better. All things are great. He's a smart business owner. He could have helped me tremendously just with some guidance off the start, but no, I was being inauthentic. I also had a conversation with my wife, because at that time, she was my biggest excuse. She'd come to me with the problem. She had something that was going on at work, or some frustrations, or if she's in her head and all this stuff, she would just come and just lay it on. And I was always quick to grasp it and wrestle with it and try to solve problems and all this stuff. I would drop what I'm doing to wrestle her problems. And then I'd get mad at her about it. I'd get frustrated. Why can't she just figure her own stuff out? And, why she always got to just throw her energy on me? I mean, she'd leave for work and she'd be not wanting to go to work, and I would wear that all day long, like it was my fault or something. It was so easy. And so I came to her. I said, look, I've been being inauthentic. I've been using you as an excuse. I've been resentful of you because you have all these problems for me to chew on. But what's really going on here, and this is part of it, you guys, you got to see what you're really doing. Because if you run these patterns, these loops, if you have these behaviors, like I used to get ready for like a launch, or I'd be going to put something out there and I'd be nervous about it. And then I'd go drinking that weekend and just get hammered and wake up the next day and I'm like in a blur for a few days. And I'm excited to say I haven't had to touch alcohol in over 1,000 days. Right? Gave that up. because I saw that as an excuse. But I told my wife, I said, look, you're my greatest excuse. If I can sit here and point fingers at you and say, hey, look, you put all this energy on me and all that stuff, then I don't have to see what's really going on here. And what's really going on is I'm afraid to show up. I'm afraid to put myself out there. I'm afraid to share my heart. I'm afraid to be rejected. But I don't put myself out there because I get to use you as an excuse. And what I'm lacking in this is a great relationship with you. And that's all I really want. And so I told her, and I made a declaration. And with being vulnerable, being authentic, being real, if you can also make a declaration that you know in your heart is truth, not trying to convince somebody of something, that's where most people go wrong. For the longest time, she would ask about money and finances and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, it's, just give me some time. I'd get frustrated and I'd let that trigger me and pull me off track too. So many opportunities. And so pay attention to that. These little conversations that derail us, what's really going on. And I told her though, I was like, look, here's the deal. I don't want you to believe a word I say. Words are meaningless. But watch me. I'm showing up differently. But what's also going to happen is I'm no longer available to be, carrying all your problems, right? I'm no longer available to have some of these conversations we've been having on repeat every couple weeks. I'm no longer available for those. And I'm no longer going to use you as an excuse. Don't believe a word I say? Watch me. And I freaking felt that. I felt it in my heart. I felt it in my knowing. This wasn't just trying to convince her of anything to buy some time. I was working from my personal power. I was working from my inner strength. I was setting an intention in that moment. She used to ask me back in the day, are you going to get a job? Are you going to get a job? Are you going to get a job? Oh man, that would make me sick to my stomach. So guess what? In 2020, when everybody's getting laid off and we have a newborn baby here, she was darn glad I didn't get a job. She was thanking me. I was able to, in 2019, go to like 18 doctor's appointments. I would not have probably been able to do that if I had a quote unquote job. She was thanking me for standing in my power back then. But for the longest time, I was using her as an excuse. So let me ask you, where in your life can you be authentic about your inauthenticity? Where in your life can you come clean? There's even times where people, my students and people I work with, they'll have a Facebook group where they're just showing up every day and nobody's listening. And they get mad at the people. They don't get it. If they would just get it, they would just listen. I can help these people if they would just get it already. There's this resentment. But they're being inauthentic. They're being inauthentic. And here's the deal. When you can come clean and say, hey, look, I realize something. I realize I've been talking at you guys and I'm trying to force feed stuff and I'm just, trying to convince you of things. I don't want to do that, but I know I can help you. And so I'm going to take a different approach. I'm really going to take a look at what you guys need. So I would love some feedback. I would love some more interaction in this group, right? Come clean, become real, be there for them. They're there for a reason, but they're probably not bought in all the way because you're not fully there. And it takes courage. It takes letting go. I mean, more than anything, if I could say, hey, look, what's the one thing that's had the most impact in your life? Letting go. Letting go. Brandon Lucero and I had an in-depth conversation on our podcast interview about letting go as well. That's been so instrumental for me. From that day where I published that video in 2014, I let go. In my spiritual development, I was trying new things that people would think were crazy. I was letting go. And when I really had more quantum growth, more bigger shifts in my life, I was letting go of beliefs, stories. I was letting go of the mental chatter. I was letting go. And one of the things that I'm continually working on is, look, I do not have it to where my mind is zen all the time. I wish I did. That'd be awesome. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what I wish. I don't know. I like my life. I don't want to sit here and say I'd be better, different, or whatever by being zen in the mind. But I tell you what, the thoughts that come in, a good majority of the time, I don't pay a lick of attention. They'll be just chatting away, blah, 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 blah. I'm just not, I don't give them any weight. I see my thoughts as BS, right? But I'm telling you, just like I'm feeling right now, I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking right now. If words are coming in, they're coming in. That's not thinking. That's coming from somewhere. That's tapping into essence. That's using my heart. That's using my personal power, whatever it may be. I'm not sitting here thinking. I'm not too worried about what comes out of my mouth because my intention's in the right place. I care about people. I want nothing more than this podcast to be a place you come to feel good, to get centered, to tap back into your own inner strengths, your personal power in order to move forward effectively. Because the world needs more leaders. I mean, you look at this world. I mean, don't look at the world. Don't look at it. It'll screw you up. But if you look at this world needs more leaders. No matter what you're doing, no matter what industry you're in or how you're helping people, if you help one person feel better today, the world changes. If that person helps one person. And just think about it. If you stay stuck in your fear and your inadequacies, in your scarcity mind, when you're being so freaking careful that you're just about to explode, the people you're here to help stay stuck. They're stuck. And the people they're here to help stay stuck. And the world does not grow. The world does not change. The world does not transform until you go. That's what I've came to realize about myself as well. I can get into all my stuff. I still get into my stuff. I still hold back. I still resist. But then I center myself. I let go. I get back into my power. I tap into my heart, my compassion, and wanting to help this world. And that always guides me. And in a future episode, I'm going to break down what it really means to be in alignment. Because that's one of those fluffy words, just like passion and purpose and fulfillment. What the hell does that even mean? It's 1,000 different definitions for 1,000 different people. But there is an art of alignment. And that's something that I love doing, you guys. I love breaking down concepts so I can land it in your lap in a way that makes sense, that gets you to this line of understanding to where you're one step away from going from understanding to knowing. That's what I'm here to do. It's one of my gifts as well, is just breaking down concepts so you can get it, so you can know. So you guys, this is it. We're doing this thing. It's on. Whoa, I'm getting chills. It's on. Thank you so much. I mean, whoo, you guys could see me on camera right now. Thank you. Thank you for being here. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. Things are about to get real. I'll be sharing some stuff that I've never shared. Because I want to open my heart. Because I know what it feels like when others open their hearts as well. If I open my heart, you can open your heart. You open your heart, the people around you open their heart, which is going to ripple back around to me to where I'm going to be able to open my heart. You're going to open your heart, which is going to allow me to open my heart more. We've lived our entire lives trying to protect our hearts, closing off, not wanting to be rejected, not wanting to be wrong, not wanting to look foolish, not wanting to be judged. Forget all that. If you look back at the end of your days and you see all the crap that held you back, it's all meaningless. It's all BS. It's not worth it. So if you're thinking about doing that Facebook Live and you're having hesitations about it, because what do XYZ person think? Or if you want to share something that's on your heart and you're ego mind and your mind that's designed to keep you safe and stuck right where you are here right now is holding you back. It's chattering away. It's zapping your energy. Forget all that. Lean in with love, because there's only two places you can work from: fear or love. I'm feeling the love, you guys. Thank you for being here. So much more coming your way on the Adam Kiddoo Podcast. And until next time, let's let go. Let go. Step into real heart alignment, because the world needs more leaders now more than ever. Thank you so much. Much love to you. Stick around. We got more to come. And if you are here, if you enjoyed this message, I would love for you guys to share the word. Share it on social media. Leave a rating and review on iTunes. Right now, we're trying to get out there. We're trying to spread the message, right? One of my favorite authors, Dr. Wayne Dyer, says, don't die with your music inside. My music is being sung right now because I want to help people. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us. So let's go help some people. So I would love it if you shared the message. I'd love it if you would subscribe, leave a rating and review on iTunes. Spread the word. All right, you guys. More to come. Get ready. It's on for you guys. I'm so excited to be here. So excited for you listening. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Adam Kiddoo Podcast. If you would, take a moment to subscribe and click the bell icon so that way you get notified when future episodes air. Now, here's the thing. If you are looking for the show notes, you can find a link to those below. If you're looking for the handles of the guests that I've been interviewing, things of that nature, you'll find that here. And if there's anything else that stood out to you in the episode, or if there's anything I can do for you, please leave a comment below, or for sure message me on Instagram if you'd like, as I'm always looking to hear what's working well for you and what caught your interest about the Adam Kiddoo Podcast. So, time to go, time to change the world, time to help more people. Are you ready? Let's go do this thing. The world needs more leaders. So thanks again for listening to the Adam Kiddoo Podcast.